Sometimes, you know, it might just be you just don't understand a policy and we need to gain clarification for you. It could be between a coworker. We've had people fight. I mean, it's crazy stuff that happens, but you need to communicate, okay? Some of you may not feel comfortable in communicating, but you might feel more comfortable in telling Mr. Dickerson. He is on the phone with the HR department. He's finding out what's going on. He's finding out the policy and the procedure. He's gonna shoot you straight. He's gonna get you where you need to go and help you work through it. Don't feel that you don't have an advocate or somebody on your side, because we're here to help you, because we don't want to have to keep placing you every 90 days to renew. We want to place you in a place that you want to be and that you're going to be there for 5 years down the road, okay? So just know your policies and procedures and get to know what they are, okay? Performance evaluations, your employer is going to, now one of your first things that you may want to ask is, how am I going to be evaluated? That way you know what the playing field looks like. Sometimes you're evaluated on the actual, how many chickens am I going to handle, or how many pallets of materials am I going to have to inspect at DART. There could be different things in place. Understand your job description and understand the expectations. You know, if you're expected to produce so many birds on the line for deboning, or you're supposed to clean up in the kitchen and there's a checklist, you need to understand what your job entails so that you can pass your evaluation with flying colors. And there's also bosses that don't believe in excellent. They only believe in average. So you need to come to an understanding of what their idea is of exceeds. Now, you may have to give up a lung and a kidney, but at least you understand what they want from you. What do you consider excellent? What do you consider outstanding? Because when the time comes for evaluation, you don't want to be coming up short. You want to go in there confident, you want to know what's expected, and you don't want any surprises. Make sense? This is about our completion. Don't worry about that. I will say this too, in reference to your benefits. Almost every single one of those employers, I don't know about the hotels because they're a new client. Sorry. DART, Tyson, Purdue, all of the poultry industries, they all have excellent benefits. They all have tuition reimbursement. They all have different little perks that make them different from the next one. If they offer you benefits and they're willing to pay for it, use it. I will tell you this, I wound up going to, I got my associate's degree at Warwick Community College. It took me 5 years to get it. Got it in general studies, didn't know what I wanted to do. Wound up getting a promotion. I worked at Peninsula Insurance Company that's no longer there. Got promoted to like HR, payroll. I was doing data entry, and I was like, that's a promotion. Took that. Small company, knew there wasn't room for growth. Bumped into Chesapeake Utilities. I said, oh, this is really good. Chesapeake Utilities offered 100% tuition reimbursement. I wound up going to a job fair. Wilmington College, was now Wilmington University. They had a major in human resources. Well, I'm doing human resources. I'm like, well, why don't I get the degree so that I can get the more money? You know, because there's many times you're doing the job, but because you don't have the credential, they don't want to pay you. So you got to get the credential to match the job so you can get the money. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that. And it's a sacrifice, but you got to get there. So I'm like, okay, you're going to pay 100% tuition reimbursement? I'm going. Thank you very much. 9/11 happened. I was 2 weeks away from finishing college on Chesapeake Utilities tab. They laid me off. Well, guess what? If you lay me off, I don't owe you a year of service afterwards. I'm like, thank you very much. I'm a free agent. I think I got over $10,000 of free education from them. They flipped the tab, paid for the books, all of it. Free. Free is good. Worked for another company. I worked for Jobs for Dillard graduates. They had a partnership with the University of Phoenix, and it was just something that they had partnered with them, and they said that we're offering 3 national scholarships. We're going to pay 100% tuition reimbursement no matter what education you wanted. I'm like, whoa, 100%? I had also kind of made a deal with the Lord, just to be honest. And I said, Lord, if you want me to go get into a master's program, I want it paid for 100% because I'm not taking out a loan.
Right.
Because every level of education you go, it gets more and more expensive. I said, nope, if you want me to go, I want a full paid scholarship. So I filled out that. I was a little arrogant. Lord had to readjust my attitude, but I applied for it and I got one of those 3 scholarships. I only spent $23 on some copies and I got a master's degree for free. For free. That was a $55,000 education for free. It's there. If they offer it, go for it. You know, if they're offering 3 national scholarships, make one of them yours. Do you know what I'm saying? It's out there. Don't sell yourself short. You can do it. Absolutely, with no doubt in my mind, you can do it. When you want to do it, and especially if it's something you're really interested in, it's a lot easier to go to school because you're like, ooh, I do this every day. And then you learn the ins and outs, and you learn what makes it tick, and you're like, oh, here's a new method, here's a new idea. And then you start adding more value. And then if the company doesn't want to pay you, you gain the credential, and you move to the next place. See what I mean? Thank you very much. I'll take that education benefit, and I'm going to move on. Okay, how to be a better student. I want you to put on that lifelong thinking cap just again for me. Always strive to do your best. All of you are going to be starting a new job. There's always a learning curve. I mean, some learning curves are just real short term, and some learning curves are longer. It depends on the position you go for. But if you give 100% every day, it's going to pay off. It really is. Be on time, being prepared, being organized, be engaged and inquisitive. Ask questions. Make sure you really understand the expectations and the ins and outs of the job. Because some bosses, they're not real clear. And they may have this expectation that you have no clue about, but if you don't ask the questions, you're never going to get the answers to get that approval. Okay? You have to ask questions. Be aware of deadlines, they do come fast. Follow directions, be flexible to change. You are all in a very flexible state at the moment because you're looking for employment. Keep with that flexibility to learn new things. Keep flexible in where you want to go long term. Don't let the entrance position be your stopping point. Look for where you want to go. To the position you're like, I can do that and I think I'll be content in that. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Be diligent to follow the rules and policies. You gotta play the game and you gotta know the rules. Just follow them, and when in doubt, ask for help. It's really important. Okay? So that whole part is finished. Just telling you too, this is Goodwill. You have access to us, and you know where we're located. You can also use us as a reference, as well as a resource. And my name's Christy, I'm the program manager. Miss Janice is the skills instructor. Mr. Anthony, he is the job readiness instructor. I'm just filling in for him actually today. And he deals with Project Reconnect, which kind of helps with anybody in re-entry. Miss Peggy's in the morning. We also have Miss Emma. Chelsea and Eric, they're no longer with us, but we also have Mr. Larry, that is our custodial individual, and then we also have Mr. Ray that fills in the afternoon. So we are kind of a family, and we try to help as best we can. Okay, that's a little bit about that. And I just list one part, is success occurs when your dreams get bigger than your excuses. And that's the truth, because if it's a dream and you want to go after it, it'll be bigger than your excuse. Okay, I have one other section to go through. Do you want to stretch a minute? Do you have any questions about the HR things I